every heart say? Amen. Amen. This is a first, City Church. This is an absolute first. Gene Maynard is supposed to be our speaker today, and he ain't here. So, so this is a first. So, obviously, needless to say, we're on the theme of the 100th Psalm. As a matter of fact, no, we can't put that up. That's not the 100th Psalm. Let's try this one more time. There we go. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wing it. I'm be also ready. We're gonna speak. We're going to love on one another, and we're gonna go home. He sent me a text earlier today that said that he's on his way, but you never know what has transpired and what has gotten in the way. So obviously pray for him and pray for Upper Room Community Church. Let me just again, the 100th Psalm. It's one of those psalms that whoever they are say that it was sung as they were headed up to temple, as they were going up to worship, to commune with God. Really gets me emotionally when I think about how the Jews were compelled to be in relationship, not compelled, they were compelled to sacrifice in a way that exemplified the relationship that they had with God. Why do we come to worship? I mean, it's somewhat rhetorical, but it's a very real question. Why do we come to worship? Why do we come here every Sunday morning, or whatever frequency that we do? For a lot of us, it could be a religious pursuit. It could be one of those things that, I was just brought up in this tradition, and so every Sunday, I come and I this is what I do, and a lot. You all know, some of you may have been those folks. When you got 18 or the age of where you didn't have, I don't have to go anymore. I don't have to go. So then what do? I stopped going. Because it wasn't I don't have to pretend to be Mark David Meeks. This is who I am. This is, and hopefully you see that in the relationships that we have formed both collectively and individually. You see that in who I am. It's like I'm not trying to, God knows, if you turn on the TV, I am not like anybody else's preacher. I am not. I'm probably a unicorn when it comes to that, Don't laugh too hard on that. No, it's like, yeah, Pastor, you're different. I ain't seen too many folk like you. But that's the beauty that is the body of Christ. That is, we are called. So what are we called? So God said, he told the nation through the prophets. He said, look, here's the deal. With whatever frequency that I ask you to come and sacrifice, this is how I'm going to connect with you. This is how I'm going to connect with you. And he did it, again, these archetypes, these relational archetypes, they're the windows for us to peep through to see how we are to have this relationship with Christ and the Holy Spirit lived out right now. He said, okay, with the frequency that I ask you to do, I want you to put the blood of the sacrifice. There was the bigger area. It's kind of like I don't know. Maybe I have these visions of when I was growing up in Bakersfield, Jabari. We lived on the corner. My father's mother lived next to us, and my mother's mother lived next to her. And so all the backyard was common, and I was a cut up. I was who I was. You guys are laughing too hard on that now. But yeah, I was a bad kid. I really was. I was a good kid, but I was a bad kid. I was a kid, I guess. But there were certain, particularly with Grandmother Meeks or Grandmother Spencer, my mother's mother, there were certain areas that were okay to be in the house. And then there were some places, particularly their bedroom or the couch with the plastic on it. You know what I'm talking about. He's like, you can't get on that. No, I knitted those pillows. Those are special pillows. It's like, don't play with that, boy. You leave that alone. You just left alone. But God, through the prophet, said to the people, look, I want you to put the blood on the mercy seat. The mercy seat. The mercy seat. And I'm going to meet you there. That's where I'm going to. The God that speaks, again, I mean, this is divine serendipity. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why, honey. But I think about eternity with incredible frequency now. Pastor Meeks, you're getting ready to die. I pray not. But if I don't today, I will one day. I know that's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I know that is so depressing, isn't it? But it is so real. What makes life? I'm telling you, Reggie. What makes life worth living is the consideration of the terminal nature of this side of eternity of life. So the hugs get tighter when you see someone you love. The hugs get tighter. The time spent around the mercy seat becomes even more incredibly valuable. That I absolutely need to be in the presence of God. So, yeah, I watched the slam dunk competition last night. I did. I didn't see the three-point competition, though. Yeah, that's the only thing the Kings can cheer about. That's pretty sad, isn't it? Oh, lousy team. We won a three-point competition. Loser. God. No. But I don't spend time frivolously. Everything I do, Constantine, everything I do is intentional. Everything. Without being too graphic, the time spent with my wife and the love we share with one another, that's intentional. It's like, it's my duty. It's like, no, it's intentional. The time that I spend in coffee, in conversation, getting to meet the Leongs, it's intentional. It's intentional. See, God said, if you meet me there, if you do what I ask you to do, be intentional about the relationship that I formed for you. We too often, Aaron, we go through life just kind of reacting to stuff. I'm not saying anything that he hasn't already shared. He said he lost his wife to death. And he's doing his level best to raise two beautiful daughters. It ain't going to work out right unless you're intentional. Life came at you a certain way. How you respond has to be intentional. Otherwise, we'll all play the victim card, and it's like, my boo left me, or the mortgage collapsed on me. It's like we have to be intentional with everything we do. So, what am I saying? What's that got to do with the 100th Psalm? Everything, because this is a praise in response to the relationship that they already had established. As we're going up to temple to celebrate, to make sacrifices, what does he say? Shout for the joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. But my wife just died. How can I worship the Lord with gladness? If I'm in relationship with him, it's not predicated on who's my friend. Do I have a job? Are my kids acting right? I'm in relation. For my collegians, did I pass my exam? I remember I'm saying anything. We were at a conference in, I forget what it was, in Louisiana, and Gail was shopping, and she found like she does on Tuesdays at Ross. She found a deal, And her immediate response is, God is so good. And the clerk who had to be a believer said, God was good before you found that dress. So God was good way before you found that dress. That's too often, that's what we do with life. Well, God is so wonderful because he broke me off something. You know what God has to do for you? Nothing. He owes you nothing. That's why. Because I'm in relationship with him. I could shout to him. Because he gave me a dress. Gave me a house. Oh, Trump's got that. Our criteria for relationship is we are, dare I say, we live as pygmy Christians. Pygmies. Give me a boo. Give me a kid. Let me give you hell. How about that? You want that? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Well, he's delivered us from that. That's reason enough to shout. No, the Lord is good. The Lord is God. He made us. We are sheep. Deacon Peggy, I grew up on a farm, 11 acres. Where's Rita and Patrick? Where are you guys? Oh, I don't mean any harm. Sheep are stupid. We had sheep. I feel like Celie on The Color Purple. They some dumb sheep. You got one. Yeah. It's a goat masquerading as a sheep. As broken as I am, as flawed as I am, as I clean up well, Calvin. I clean up well. Paul, I clean up well. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. And before you look at me too crazy, you are too. I know where you live. I know where you live. I know your address. I know your zip code. It's the same one as mine. I was sharing with someone the other day. I said, it was Gary. We were sharing a coffee. I said, the evil one can't get me on being drunk with alcohol. Not because I haven't tried it. I don't have a taste for it. It's just in and of itself, there's no problem with it. I'm telling you. It just tastes like vomit. I know, Tracy, it's like, Pastor, you just haven't tried the good stuff, you know. Stay away from the Thunderbird. I'll just say, $2 chuck, and then you'll develop a taste, whatever. I've tried good, I've tried bad. It tastes like vomit. But there's a long list of things that he could get me on. And for 30 seconds, I could almost be good for 30 seconds, Aaron, almost. But about 31, 32, I start to think the wrong thing. I'll say the wrong thing. And if you leave me by myself too long, I'll do the wrong thing. Well, what separates you from Jeffrey Dahmer? It's the Holy Spirit of God that lives inside of me. That's why I can shout. That's why I can enter into his gates with thanksgiving. That's why I can say, for the Lord is good and his love endures forever. Even when the wheels fall off of relationships, even when I don't pass the exam, even when I don't get the spouse, even when things don't work out the way I want them to work out, I can still shout to the Lord. Why? He's good. Not based on anything that happens to me. He's just good for who he is. He's good. He's good. Nate, he's good. He's good. And here's the beautiful thing is, he still, even in his goodness, he owes us nothing. He still allows us to go to conferences and to get paid to preach to people. That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, Fresno's not a garden spot. No offense, Marcel. I mean, it's like, but you get to go there and they pay you to preach the gospel. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. We're in relationship. His faithfulness continues through all generations. I'm done. We're done. I just thank God for you. For you. I thank God for allowing me the privilege to be co-laborer with you in ministry. I can go down, Paulo, William, Jamal, my own daughter. I just call you by name, and I know you, and the things that we've gone through, Tracy and Al, and I know you, and that's what makes this so wonderful, is that we have a shared experience. We all get to enter into the Holy of Holies and meet him right there above the mercy seat. That's what he said. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you right there. You got to be intentional. Don't respond to the events of life. Where are you going? It's a funny thing, and I've said I'm done. I promise I'm done. We ask our kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? In terms of careers. She's not here. You pass the word along, William. That's why I love Daniela. That I want a place where my son can grow up and see God. That's intentionality. That is absolute intentionality. Let's shout to the Lord, saints. Let's pray. Our Church, we hope to provide that home, that environment where you can self-discover. Wonderfully
thankfully, with City Church, it's been a haven of rest for a lot of millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, people that are looking for purpose, meaning in life. When you come to City Church, we want you to be greeted with a hug, with a warm embrace, with a welcome. We're glad to see you, as if you were family, and you are. I just haven't had a chance to meet you. City Church, you are family, and you will find a home here.